You think you know what love is. You think you've already learned how to give it, how to receive it, how to keep it safe. But somewhere along the way, that knowing has become your limitation. A Zen master would say, your cup is full. And when your cup is full, it cannot receive. You can't pour new tea into a cup already overflowing with the old. This is the secret many never discover, that love is not something you learn once and then understand forever. It's something you must unlearn and relearn every single day. There's an old Zen story that captures this truth perfectly. A university professor once came to visit a Zen master, eager to learn the secrets of enlightenment. The master welcomed him kindly and invited him to sit for tea. As the master poured the tea, the professor talked about philosophy, psychology, religion, his words spilling out like an endless stream. The master kept pouring. The tea rose to the brim, then overflowed, spilling onto the table, onto the floor, until the professor finally shouted, "Stop! The cup is full, no more will go in." The master smiled softly. "Exactly," he said. "Like this cup, your mind is full. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup?" In relationships, most people arrive like that professor, full of old lessons, assumptions, rules, and fears. We think we already know how love should look, how people should behave, how a partner should act. But love cannot be learned with a full cup. To love truly, you must pour out everything that no longer serves you, the jealousy, the expectations, the fear of loss, the old hurts still haunting your heart. Because only when the cup is empty can it be refilled with something real, something new, something alive. The master once said that when people enter love, they rarely see the person in front of them. What they actually see is a reflection of everyone who has ever hurt them. They mistake their partner for a ghost from the past. They expect betrayal because they've known betrayal. They expect distance because they've felt it before. They expect to be misunderstood because once they were. The hardest work in love is not learning how to love your partner. It's unlearning how you were taught to protect yourself from love. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with rocks. Each rock represents an old disappointment, a heartbreak, a memory that never healed. You bring this bag into every new relationship. At first, you think you can hide it, but eventually it weighs on your words, your tone, your reactions. You interpret every small silence as rejection, every pause as disinterest. The master would say, you are not seeing your partner, you are seeing your reflection in the cup of your mind. To unlearn past hurt, you must treat every day as a completely new moment. The monk-ass practice is radical in its simplicity. See your partner as if you were meeting them for the very first time. Every morning look at them and think, who is this person today? Because they are not who they were yesterday. Neither are you. The pain of yesterday does not belong in the peace of today. The more you project your past onto the present, the less of the present you actually see. This practice is called beginner's mind, or Shoshin. The master described it as the mind that is open, curious, and humble. When you think you already know your partner completely, love begins to decay. You stop looking, you stop listening, you start reacting based on memories instead of moments. But when you approach love with beginner's mind, every conversation becomes discovery. Every touch becomes the first touch again. It is not ignorance. It is the deepest awareness that the person you love is constantly changing, growing, becoming. There's a story of a monk who had been married before joining the monastery. When asked what he had learned from both marriage and Zen, he said, "Every morning I had two choices, to assume I knew her or to meet her again." The interviewer asked, "Which choice led to happiness?" The monk smiled. "The second one. Because in the first, I loved my memory of her. In the second, I loved her as she was. When your cup is full, even your listening becomes defensive. You don't really hear, you wait for your turn to speak. The master once said, most people listen only to prepare their reply, few listen to understand. This is one of the clearest signs of a full cup in the inability to receive without judgment. Real listening is empty listening. It's not just staying silent while your partner speaks. It's being still enough to actually receive their meaning. When you stop forming a response in your head, when you stop trying to defend or correct or persuade, you begin to understand what they're really saying. Sometimes what they need is not your wisdom or your logic. They just need your quiet presence. A Zen student once asked his teacher how to listen with a still mind. The teacher handed him a bowl of water and said, "If the water is still, it reflects the moon clearly. If it's disturbed, the image is broken." The student nodded, understanding that listening is not about agreeing or disagreeing. It is about becoming still enough to see the truth of the other person's heart. Empty listening is an act of love. When you truly hear another person, without interruption, without ego, without judgment, you give them space to be seen. And being seen is one of the rarest gifts we can give in this world. It is the antidote to loneliness. But there's one more step to emptying your cup: the willingness to let others grow. Most relationships falter not because of lack of love, but because of lack of space. When your cup is full of expectations, how they should behave, what they should believe, who they should become, you stop allowing them to be themselves. You stop seeing them as a human being and start treating them as a character in your story. The master taught that love is not possession. Love is witnessing. To witness means to hold space without control, to support without shaping. True love says, "I see you as you are, not as I need you to be." That's what it means to give someone freedom inside love. When you stop demanding perfection, when you allow mistakes, when you let your partner stumble, you create the conditions for real growth. You become a safe place instead of a constant test. The master compared it to sunlight and a tree. The sunlight does not tell the tree how to grow, he said. It simply shines, and because it shines, the tree finds its own shape. That is how you love when your cup is empty. You don't try to fix. You don't try to mold. You don't try to control. You create a space so open and calm that growth becomes inevitable. So what does it mean to empty the cup in love? It means letting go of what you think love should be, so you can finally experience what it actually is. It means meeting your partner as a new person every day. It means listening to them with silence, not with a script. It means understanding that love isn't about ownership, it's about allowing freedom. And the truth is, this doesn't just apply to romantic love. It applies to every kind of relationship, friends, family, even yourself. When you empty your cup, you can finally see the people around you as they are, not as your memories of them. You become capable of compassion instead of control, of presence instead of pretense. The master once said, when your cup is empty, everything is tea. Meaning, when you stop filtering life through what you already know, everything becomes beautiful again. Every word, every gesture, every silence becomes sacred. So maybe it is time to pour out what's stale inside you, the old lessons that no longer serve, the beliefs that keep you guarded, the pain you've mistaken for wisdom. Let it spill out, make room, because love, like tea, must be poured fresh. And if this story reminded you to make space, to listen more deeply, to love more freely, and to see others as they truly are, then you've already begun to empty your cup. If you found peace in this reflection, take a moment to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to The Fictionist, because every story here is another sip of quiet wisdom, simple lessons, ancient truths, and reminders that the heart only learns when the cup is empty.